since we last saw Ralph, he was wrecking things. What has he been up to since?
Well, he continues to wreck things. That is his day job, wrecking stuff. He also makes a lot of mistakes. He's a good-hearted guy who means well, but he often gets things wrong. And in this movie, it's the extension of their friendship. You know, in the first movie, he was lucky enough to find a friend for the first time in his life. He was leading this very lonely and misunderstood life as a bad guy. And then he made this friend, Vanellope, played by Sarah Silverman. And so we find him like 6 years later, and they're deep into their friendship. They spend all their time together like best friends do. And but then some things start to happen, like Vanellope starts to like wonder what life would be like outside of this little family that she's in, like many kids do as they grow up, and they want to kind of expand and spread their wings. And that is sort of like one of the central conflicts of our movie, is like Ralph's desire to hold on to the friendship and Vanellope's need to become a more mature person or move on to the next chapter of her life.
I mean, at some point in our lives, I feel we identify with Ralph at some points, and also Vanellope. What did you identify with in Ralph in this film specifically?
Well, what I identified with Ralph, I mean, it is similar to the first film, but what I identify with him is his sort of fallibility as a human being, you know? I think cartoons in particular present like an idealized version of things. And Ralph is a very flawed character, you know. He gets really wrong-headed ideas, and he goes, you know, like this thing. He tries to trick her into wanting to stay into her game, and he means well, but it's a stupid trick that he plays. And so I related to that, of like being someone who like means well but makes mistakes sometimes, and ultimately what he's doing because he loves his friend, you know.
Sure.
So I had a lot of compassion for the character in the same way.
You and Sarah have great chemistry, and 6 years ago you did too. Is it any different coming back 6 years later? And did you guys record together?
Yeah, we recorded all of our stuff together. That was something we made a pact with each other on the first movie. Like a lot of animated films are made where people come in and record separately, alone. And that just sounded like a really uncollaborative, lonely way to do this work. And I also think it's very fruitful to be in the same room as the other person, because you can generate ideas and improv things together. And yeah, what was it like getting back together with the gang? Was like, I mean, these things take a long time. So this job, the first movie and now this movie, this is the longest I've ever been employed by one employer, ever in my whole life. So because of the span of time that we're all together, you get really close to people.
Sure.
And you form these friendships and shared senses of humor about things. And so when we came back, you know, to do this one, I just felt really lucky to see my friends again, and then also to continue the storyline of these great characters.